Hey guys, this is Tom Hanks. Welcome to another stream. Today we're playing Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. I'm gonna fire up the game, um, and today we're gonna be doing some big things. You'll see on stream um, what exactly we're gonna be doing, but yeah, definitely gonna get at least one achievement today. One is for sure. I don't know if we're gonna get others as well, but I definitely know of one achievement that we're gonna get today. Once the game is actually fully loaded and ready, I'm gonna switch over and also turn on the game sounds. Okay, you should see it in a second. All right, everyone. That's our garage. You see that here there's no longer the Salem Spectre Fastback, but there is a different car here. This is, well, basically a Cobra. And this took its place not just because I love the looks of, well, a Cobra, and therefore also this car. It's the, what's it, OC Typhoon. It's a very nice looking car. I like it. And if you, I don't know how well this is visible on stream, but the front rims on this are 19-inch and the rear rims are actually 20-inch. And this is also on slick tires because this is my new drag car for the speed track. So do I have another car in my parking? No, I don't. Do I have a barn available? Yes, I do. I can go to the car auctions now as well. Huh. That's interesting. Let's go there. It costs $200. Oh man. See what they got. 38,562. Do we want this? Nah, next car. Do we want this? I think we do, actually. I think I want to restore one of these and see what sort of engines you can put in here and tune it up and then take it to a racetrack. That sounds like a fun idea to me. Yeah, that's a list of the available cars for this visit of the auction house. Okay, I'm gonna get the Flammo as well. We have plenty of cash, as you can see. Oh, come on. You're gonna make me spend nearly 60 grand on this? Over 60 grand, actually. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna let this one go. It's getting too ridiculous from me. I don't want it that badly. Okay, so this is the Luxor Bone. We're gonna bid for this one as well. Gonna wait until they slow down a little bit with the early biddings. It's the mustard and ketchup mobile. It starts from like a orange-y red to a yellow, and then sort of like a dark wine red or something like that in the rear. So it's kind of cool, but also kind of weird. We're gonna put this into parking for now and see a little bit later what we do with the other cars. I'm not a particular fan of this one. I mean, we could get it, but since we can't repair the frame and the chassis yet, I don't think it makes much sense to do this one right now. There is another Roadrunner 440, but oh, this is actually in excellent condition. Sure. There's also a Challenger coming out next. Come on now. Gotta be reasonable here. If it goes above 40k, I'm not buying it anymore. So basically, if they outbid me now, okay, I'm gonna let it go. Actually, no, I'm gonna bid a little bit more. Come on now. I want this one. Okay, 50k is where I draw the line. I got it. Parking. Challenger. Looks nice overall. I mean, sure, the rims are not that good, but we can of course replace those, and you know we would do that anyway. Come on. What the fuck? Okay, that was quick. What the hell? Okay, this is starting to get a little ridiculous. $60k. Yeah, we're above 60 now. We can get another one at another time. I don't wanna throw away money mindlessly, you know. We're gonna get the Salem Flammo. Mayan M3. Now this one looks to be in excellent condition, but look at that starting price. Well, it better be in excellent condition after just 15,000 kilometers anyway. I don't really like this one. When you want your challenger to be purple, so you may as well wait until you have the paint job. Exactly, yeah. We can get another one at another time. So this is the one we wanted. $338,776 kilometers. Not the highest amount that I've seen, of course, because obviously on the barns sometimes they have like 400,000 kilometers and whatnot. So we want this one. And we got it for 24k. Okay, it's actually a really good price. Chieftain TBX. Next car. Main M3. Nah. Okay. So I think we bought 3 cars in total here, right? I love how... Accidentally backs the Flammo into the Luxor. The garage, the whole place goes up in flames. Yeah, I love how both of the cars you suggested came with fancy paint jobs. So, the Bowen and the Flammo. Let's do the Flammo first. Well, doesn't matter which one we click here. Oh, we can just summon it here. Oh, look at that. That's awesome, actually. So exterior-wise, this is in excellent condition. Yeah, frame, interior, only that... Okay, so this is gonna be in 100% perfect condition after we do our thing. Let's see how much it's worth at the end, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Also, what engines do you support? Oh, none. Okay, no other ones than the stock one. Car lifter B. No oil in it. We just bought a car without oil. Did VSync get turned off? No, I'm just streaming this from my GTX 970, which apparently can't run this game at 60 FPS. Because I've already packed up the 1070 Ti and, you know, brought it to the nearest DHL shop. You're getting major stutters. Well, I mean, it's not entirely fluid for me either, I have to say. So apparently the GTX 970 is not capable of running this fluently, which is actually surprising. But probably nothing we can't fix with a few graphics options in the main menu. Like, a GTX 970 is by no means a bad graphics card. But apparently, Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, everyone, is demanding title. Save game and return the menu. Where is it? Settings. Video settings. VSync is on. Graphics quality, let's turn that to medium. This even has a benchmark mode. Apply. Let's hope it runs a little bit more fluidly now. There was a small stutter there, but that was only because everything was loading in. Looks fine now, to me at least. Much better, yeah. I can't believe it. So this is actually a rear-wheel drive with coil springs on the rear. Question: do you think we should put tuned parts in this engine? No, it makes pretty much stock. Make it pretty much stock. Exact some stupid like 19-inch rims. Okay. White tire walls as well. Not on 19-inch rims. Okay, fair enough. We were going to be running rubber band tires. Also, do you remember the Salem Spectre Fastback from last week? The Mustang-esque drag car that went like crazy? I've since replaced my drag car and it's now this. We'll get to that a little bit later. So what do we do here? Actually, I shouldn't. Oh God. Should have checked the dimensions of the tires on this thing. What do we give it? Let's give it like two. Where's the tire shop? 225s. Vintage tires look good, I think. 225s. Yeah, something like that. And then the rims. Don't like these. I like these, but probably not on this car. These are the ones it came with. Need Asantis or Dobbs. Dobbs is actually a YouTuber that you know I know from Forza Horizon 4 as well. But Asantis, I don't know. Oh, okay. We need like NK or BBS or something like that. Do you put these ones on that were on their stock, or I think they make sense. I also kind of want to try these, but maybe not in this car. These ones I think could also work. Then again, I think if we're going 19-inch, we may as well go for something a little bit fancier. I would think you remember the horrors of early 2000s custom wheels. Bentley rims. Also the T-Series or the Continental. Where is it? Oh, so we need 2 left side and 2 right side rims. I guess. Continental, okay. Where are we? There we are. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but now on medium graphic settings, like, the stuff here doesn't look much worse. I can see a difference, especially on this toolbox here and whatnot, but you know, having a fluent 60 FPS is worth it. Gonna be able to play on high settings again once the Vega arrives. Should be ready for next stream, like for next Car Mechanic Simulator stream, because the next stream overall is tomorrow, of course, City Skylines. Okay, so we have double wishbones up front with a crossmember B, front end link B, a regular sway bar, okay. And then on the rear we have coil springs with drum brakes. Let's buy everything we need for the suspension. We need the bottom suspension arm. Need this. Also this. Where were we? We need the front wheel. I think I've bought that. And we have the... We were here. Now we need 2 of these. We need 2 of these. $14 of these. Then those. Spring caps, steering rack. Okay. So let's just remind ourselves of how much this car was worth before. And by the way, I'm gonna join the springs real quick, or the shock absorbers. This car was 23,000 according to the car status when we first looked at it in our garage. So let's once we've swapped out all the faulty parts for new ones, let's see how much it'll be worth then. Oh, it's actually a different front steering knuckle. What do you think? How much is this going to be worth once we fully restored it? I think probably around like 80,000. 28K. Oh, $28, yeah. 30. Oh, we need to get this thing down in order to work further on the engine. We also need to remove this, for which we need to remove the manifold first, which is also kind of annoying. By the way, have you built a car for the Super Convertibles challenge of the that other automation YouTuber whose name I can't pronounce correctly? Oh, you've never done a challenge other than mine. Okay, that's actually kind of... Wait, did we choose the right one? Right. That's actually kind of flattering to hear that you've only participated in my challenge and nobody else's. Cone's 1980s Trans Am series. Okay, okay. It can hardly be considered it can hardly be considered a real entry though, as I sent the car I'd already made. Oh, okay. I mean, fair enough. You have the right to do so. Just tuned the engine for racing and did a race preset. Okay. I mean, that's how I used to make race versions of my already existing cars as well. Back in the day before I, got a little bit more into suspension tuning. Even though I don't do a lot of suspension tuning these days anyway. Wait, is this... Yeah, left side. Okay, that's good. Like, I have a few memorized, suspension setups that I kind of use depending on what car I'm building. I think the default suspension setup on most cars is already, solid. Like, it's not like, you just click through everything and the default suspension setup is just completely undrivable. That's hardly ever the case in automation. I think they've done a good job with that. Also, while we're here, let's buy the fuel filter as well, fuel pump, fuel tank. Okay, there we go. And we can replace this right away. Okay. But yeah, this car is certainly not gonna give us the next level up. Even the next car might not, I think. Because there's some XP still left to be gained from this one. And a full restoration does give you a reasonable amount of experience, of course, because, you replace everything. It's a lot of work. But even so, I think it may not be enough. But given that we have 2 more cars after this, we're certainly gonna level up overall from that. And then we're level 20. So then that means 10 levels to go until we get the paint shop and hopefully also the ability to repair the frame of a car. We're on the right side of the car, so this is correct. Also, I'm gonna show you the performance of that car back there after we're done with this. But you know, we still have some work left to do here because we still gotta rebuild the entire engine. Looks good. Those rims. We can sell these two. Did we get anything out of this? I don't think so. Like a case or a barn location? No, we didn't. We also still gotta separate the... Nope, that was the wrong option there. The shock absorbers we gotta separate still. And then I'm gonna sell everything that we have in our inventory right now. Then we have to move it down, first of all. While we're here, we can also replace the radiator and the battery and brake servo. And battery. There we go. We need a starter as well later on. Now we need to move this thing up again. Actually, no, we need to remove the exhaust manifold first. The manifolds, actually. Hey Club, how's it going? I'm good, thanks. Playing some car mechanic simulator here. We went to the auction house a little bit earlier in the stream, and we bought this car. The paint shop was already... The paint was already the way it is. We added the rims and replaced the suspension, or like rather completely rebuilt it. Now it's time to restore the engine, and then this will be 100% all around, which is pretty impressive. I'm gonna pull out the engine. Just got back from Austria. Ah, okay. What were you doing in Austria? You were skiing, okay. Thanks for hosting the stream, by the way. Appreciate it. Whoa! Thank Sedan 57 Chevy for the 6-month resub, I think. Damn, thank you very much. It's been 6 months already since I've been an affiliate. Damn, and since you've subbed. I think I've been an affiliate for a little bit longer, but It doesn't feel like that long at all. Time's just been flying. Five months? Wasn't it 5 months last time? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Which wouldn't surprise me, honestly. The full 6 months will be in a week or two. Oh, okay, I see. I thought this was it, because you said that like last week on the 4th of Friday, if I remember correctly, but doesn't matter, man. I appreciate it either way. It's actually an interesting engine. It's got dual overhead cams. Because of Prime, I had to wait 2 weeks to sub the second. Oh, okay. So we are not gonna use tuned parts for this car, simply because, well, we didn't use wide tires on it either, so doesn't make too much sense putting tons of power into a car that absolutely can't handle it. I mean, if this engine stock, I think, makes 150 horsepower. With tuned parts, it would probably go around up to 220, maybe 250, I'd say. So it's not an absurd amount of power by any means, but still probably a lot more than this can actually take. What do you mean it can't handle it? The Flammo can handle anything. Except for a rear impact. Yeah. Again, like, tuning this engine wouldn't result in crazy horsepower or anything like that, but I mean, with slick tires, it could probably easily handle the tuned engine. But we're not putting slick tires on this thing. Or are we? What do you think? Oh, let's get rid of these parts first that go in here. This is a show car, not a go car. Okay, right. Okay, so we need to create new engine. It's this one here. So let us sell. Didn't get a barn find location or a case out of this. Okay, it's fine. Not every car needs to have one, obviously. Okay, now I want to start with the block. Inline 6. Where's it? I think it's this one. Yeah, it is. Then we obviously need Okay. Oil. We obviously need pistons and piston rings, but for now I wanna also put on whatever we can for now. Inlet 6. We also need a crankshaft. 5 of these. Crankshaft pulley. Alternator. We need piston. Piston rings. Then we need an engine head. Okay, and then we need the camshaft cap. I think we've had 14 total of these, 7 on each side. We had spark plugs, obviously. Dimensioning sprocket. Engine head cover. Timing cover. Cam gears. This one, ignition wires. Let's get to building. If we need anything else, we can always come back to the shop. Okay, welcome back. On. There we go. Have you ever played My Summer Car? No, I haven't. It's a great game. Oh, hey, Azrak Foxplane, how's it going? Have you thought about doing it? I don't know, man. It's been a while since because I know that when it released, I watched the trailer, and I was like, I don't know if I want to play this. I could look at it again because I actually even forgot what it looks like at this point, like visually, what the art style is like. It's really fun. I mean, technically, now that I am no longer playing Forza on Friday, as I've decided, yesterday was the last Forza Friday, I could I wanted to play more Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 on Friday, but I could also play something else on Fridays. You'd probably really enjoy it, actually. Okay. Okay, there's that. Now we need to head over here. There's the timing chain sprocket. I don't even know what the German name for sprocket is, by the way. I've never really encountered that. Because Zahnrad is gear. I don't know how else I would call that, though. To be honest with you. Oh, we need the serpentine belts. Let's see. And then we also need the carburetor. Kettenrad, okay. Kind of makes sense because the chain, the timing, the German word for chain is Kette, so since it attaches to the timing chain, it kind of makes sense. Anyway, 3 of these. Then we also need the manifold for the inline 6. Front exhaust section for the inline 6. Also need a middle muffler and a V8 OHV rear muffler. And we need the components for the gearbox. The gearbox itself, obviously, which was inline 4 rear wheel drive. And I think that's it. Actually, no, I know one thing we definitely still don't have, and that is the rod caps. Okay, so we're almost done with this thing. Gonna be a little bit annoying having to move the car up and down a few times just to attach the front exhaust section and then back up to get to the exhaust manifold and the starter, but I think it's I think apart from that it's annoying attaching these rod caps and crankshaft bearing caps from the engine stand, so I'd much rather have that done on the lifter. let's see. I'm kind of curious to know if you can actually buy like a Pagani on the auction house, I guess. Because I want to own one by myself, and you're certainly not gonna find one in a barn. Like, let's just be honest here. That being said, I did find an Elise in a barn once. Or imagine a Pagani Huayra, because we could then use tuned parts for that engine, which is already crazy, and the tuning shop actually has you know, turbochargers as well for it. So with the stock engine making what, 730 horsepower or something like that, tuned, that engine is gonna push well above 1,000 horsepower, I'd have to think. So yeah, a Pagani with tuned engine would just be absolutely crazy. It's probably ridiculously fast as is. That being said, I think we're done with this one. It is now worth 43,000, so I think we may have actually made a net loss on this one. Oh, there's a couple of parts missing still. Now we're up to 48,000. Everything is in the car. Okay. Have we made net loss on this one? I don't know. It's probably close, actually. That being said, I do want to at least listen to this thing a little bit. I'm gonna drive it to the, I don't know, the speed track, I guess, because it's the easiest thing to be doing. That being said, right after testing this, which we're doing basically just for the engine note of the straight six, because I'm a big fan of straight sixes in real life. Not really a huge fan of this thing's engine sound though. But then we're gonna take a look at the OC Typhoon and see how fast that is over here. Can we reach 200 kilometers an hour in this thing? Not before the finish line, I don't think. Oh! Yeah, didn't go more than 198. Sadly. But now I'm gonna show you the craziness that is this thing. Just so you know, this has like gigantic, I think these are 305s on the rear and 275s I think on the front. Something like that. And we're gonna run this down the speed track. It's got a tuned supercharged V8 under the bonnet with God knows how much horsepower. This thing is just so fast. It just doesn't stop pulling. 376 by the end there. So yeah, this is just absolutely insane, this car. I love it, and that's why I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna restore the frame on this one once I can. This I'm gonna sell. Let's move the Luxor Bowen to the garage. And I think this one should also be all 100% except for the... Yep, except for the global parts. For this, we can put a different engine in there. I think we put the Hemi into this one. Or the 6-pack, actually. We could do that as well. Yeah, let's do the 6-pack. Again, no oil in this one. Starting to think that like every car you buy, no matter whether it's from the auction house or from like the barn or or even the junkyard, every car comes without oil. Oh yeah, once we reach level 30, we not only unlock the paint shop, but also the dyno. So then we'll actually have the answer how much power that tuned supercharged V8 actually makes. Okay, and while we're here, we may as well also work on the exhaust. I think for this one I do want to tune it. And I also want the gearbox part and a custom gearbox for V8 OHV. But we might need a different one actually, now that I think about it, so it's not by that at this point. Two of these. Okay. So think just like on, I think we want vintage race tires on this one for a good compromise between, you know, grip and also a little bit of style. Because obviously we are gonna need some sort of grip if we're gonna put a tuned 6-pack V8 in here. So we've got the wishbone suspension up front with a cross member D. Okay, here we go. Okay. Due to faster unscrewing and unscrewing and whatnot is so good. Probably saved like 5 minutes in this stream alone over the last hour or so. Just from that single upgrade. Maybe even more now that I think about it. Let's actually take apart the shock absorbers. And let's also worry about the tires we're gonna put on this thing. Or maybe let's take those apart beforehand as well. So that we can see what we're working with here. 205 90 R15. Probably want like 18-inch rims on this one. 245's like 70 R18. So vintage race tire. These ones. Uh, 245. Oh, 65 is the highest it can go. Okay. Sure. Any other suggestions for games I could potentially play on Fridays in the future? We've heard My Summer Car. Anything else? PC building simulator? I mean, I'd have to buy My Summer Car anyway, so I'm fine with buying another game. It's just that, you know, a Need for Speed game. I could do that, yeah. Do you have a particular one in mind, like Most Wanted, Underground 2? Not really, just thought it maybe it would be interesting to maybe change out games every couple of weeks, rotate through them. Yeah, I have nothing against that, actually. I think it, you know, helps keep you fresh and avoid making the stuff get boring. Because I have to say, as much as I love Forza Horizon 4, at this point, you know, I feel like I've played it too much. Like, sadly, the Microsoft Store doesn't track how many hours you've played, but I can guarantee you I've probably played like 500 hours of Forza Horizon 4. Someone doesn't enjoy a game, they aren't going to watch your streams on that particular day. Yeah. Sure. I agree with that. Now we need to buy the suspension on this car. Does this have... Okay, it's got drum brakes on the rear. Because some cars actually have a... what was I gonna say? Leaf spring suspension, but disc brakes on the rear. Some cars have. Okay. In reality, this should be a rear coil, and I think all drums. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit I don't know that much about you know, the exact suspension configuration on real life cars. I mean, I have some idea, but I don't know. This is the sort of stuff that I never remember. Let's put it that way. Not even on cars I really like. Plane mechanic simulator. I have looked into that, but I've seen reviews of it. And the reviews stated that early on in the game, for the first 5 hours or so, you have to basically grind the exact same thing over and over and over before you actually unlock another plane to work on, or other things to work on. So that doesn't sound particularly exciting to me either. Like the review I've read was like, okay, at the start you only have one plane to work on, and whenever you finish your order, the next like every time it's got some sort of engine problem, every time, and when you finished your one task, 2 seconds later the engine has another failure again. So it gets a little repetitive from what I've read. So I also, visually the game doesn't speak to me as much as these car mechanic simulator games do. So I think I'm gonna pass on the plane mechanic simulator. Okay, so we have everything here. It has things I miss in car mechanic. Okay, for example. And don't say planes, okay? I miss blackjack and hookers. You can take the tops off without removing everything else. I don't really know what do you mean with that. I'm playing Battlefield 5 and there's an 11-year-old in my squad saying, "Dang it," every time he ties, and I can't stop laughing. Hey JJ Burke 2001, how's it going? Come on. Okay. So yeah, let's actually finish off this rear suspension. We should be done with the suspension fairly soon. Like, I like how simple leaf spring rear suspension is to work on. Then again, of course, this means that then again, of course, the leaf spring rear suspension isn't exactly what you'd use in a sports car these days. So you know, handling isn't its greatest strength, but that means that we can turn these cars into basically drag cars. I know that Corvettes have had leaf springs for a long time, and even like the C6 generation does. I don't know about the C7, but the C6 does, and it handles very well. But you know, this car we're working on here is like a, I don't know, 60s, early 70s Cadillac. So I doubt it'll handle like a Corvette. Yeah, they were independent leaves. Okay, fair enough. Mid-60s Caddy, okay. You know what, I'll quickly show the front end of this car again after we put this rim on, because I feel like it reminded me of something else as well from the front end. I don't know what it was. Kind of like a Buick Riviera with these lights on the very corner there. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I didn't remember the name, but like the Riviera, definitely, yeah. Okay, so the drivetrain, no, or not the drivetrain, the suspension is pretty much done now. Once we finish this up, because we already did the front suspension, now we did the rear suspension, so we're good. Now what we're gonna do is get the car to move down a little bit. We're gonna pull out the engine with this engine crane, and we're gonna put a new one in here. First, I'm gonna replace these. So the peripherals. Battery. Radiator. C, we are gonna need a radiator fan, and I think it's gonna be the radiator fan B for the build we're doing, because we are gonna be putting a 6-pack V8 in this thing. Pull out. But yeah, I really like the fact that you can engine swap in this game. You can experiment with the different engines and you know, how they behave, what you can tune and what you can't. Obviously, what parts you need for each one. It's interesting. That's cute. A single carburetor on this one. We're gonna have more than that once we build up our six-pack engine. Hopefully we do actually have 6 carburetors then. I mean, it's a single 4-barrel, yeah. And a 6-pack is 3 2-barrel cars. I mean, okay, fair enough, but... Still, it's more. What in my mind I would want a 6-pack to be would be, well, 3 carburetors here and 3 carburetors here, ideally with 4 barrels each, but that would then be like a 24-pack, I guess. But you know, dual quads is my favorite. We can do that as well, but just for the. But I've done that before quite a few times, so I want to go with the 6-pack. With the 6-pack. With the 6-pack V8 this time, because I don't think I've ever built that. Okay. Okay, so we've completely taken this engine apart. And let's search our inventory if we got anything interesting out of it. Case. Barn location. No, nothing. Okay, fair enough. Now we create a new engine. And we will go with this one. We need the block V8 OHVC. This one. Okay, what sort of pistons go into this? Also the crank is the OHVC. This one. Crankshaft pulley has to be V8 OHV. We're gonna need 3 of these. Okay, so we definitely need pistons for OHVC. We need 8 of them. That's $1,600. Piston rings. And then we also need, what was I gonna say? The push rods. Probably these ones. I'd hazard to guess, but I don't know for sure. We need the regular pistons, okay. Okay. Shows how much I know about this game. Regular rings as well? Okay, camshaft OHVC. Then we need the head for OHVD. They don't have it. Really? Yeah, guess they don't have it. They don't have this in the tune shop. That's actually pretty disappointing. Exhaust manifold OHVD. Should have that, I think. Yep, they do have that. And this is the intake manifold V8 OHVE. And they don't have that either. Again, pretty disappointing because the engine heads especially, they usually, like the tuned engine heads usually give you a ton of extra power. Let's see if they at the very least have the carburetors. Carburetor C, B, and C, okay. And then the ignition distributor and everything related to that. Ignition coil B, distributor. Oh my, those are 4 and 5% respectively. Damn, I never realized that these are actually so significant of an upgrade. Carburetor B, C, Which one do we need two of? C, E, C. Okay. So we need two of this one. Let's get this in first. Don't have the clip yet. We definitely need spark plugs though. Like that much is for sure. Not sure which wires we're gonna need. And then we need V8 OHVF as far as push rods go. Rocker arms, I don't think those are available tuned anyway. OHVD, so pretty disappointing as far as tuned parts go for this build. If you could supercharge this as well, it would be better. But as is, I don't know. It's still fun to try it out and to see how everything works with this particular engine. But it's kind of disappointing that there are so few tuned parts for it. Okay, air filter base. HVE. Air filter cover is also going to be a thing to take care of. I think we can probably buy the air filter in the tuning shop though. Let's actually put in the spark plugs now and see what wires we need. None? Oh. Wait. I'm confused now. Cam gear V8 OHV. Okay, now we need the timing chain. OHVF. This cover. V8. HVC. HVC. definitely need that and that. Need an alternator if I don't have that yet. And also a power steering pump. Probably this, but I'm not sure. You also need the arm A and arm B. And indeed, oh, and it's the alternator for the inline 6B. Okay. Fair enough, you got me on that one. Okay. Does this engine not have ignition wires? Or do they go into the head cover? Or over the head cover, I guess. Yeah, they do. Okay, so it's wires that you don't find in a tuned part shop. These ones. But you should find the air filter in there. No. No. It's not here. Okay. Very disappointing, actually, when it comes to how few tune parts are available for this build, but it's still a fun. It's still a fun experiment, trying out new engine builds. Take the engine off from the crate and install it in the car. Move this out of the way. Move this up. Front exhaust section V8 OHVD. Do we get that in the tune part shop? I kinda doubt it at this point, but we can check. Need this, and probably don't have this yet either. Where are you? On the exhaust section. These. V8 OHVD, is this the one we need? Yeah, it is. Okay. Also, we're still missing some rubber bushings in here. Okay. I mean, even so, this engine is probably gonna produce like 500 horsepower, something like that. OHVF, let's see. Should have that. Yeah, we do. And we need a starter. Really a shame you can't change the paint on this thing. Yeah. But you know, it's a colorful paint job. I actually like it. Like, look at this. It's definitely an like it's definitely a paint job that stands out from the crowd. We are also going to tune the gearbox on this thing a little bit. We're gonna give this a 5th gear, and we're gonna I don't think this is gonna go much more than 300 kilometers an hour on the SRR rating straight, but let's see, 310 should be fine. I think this is complete now. I don't think we're missing anything. Yep, and this is worth like 87,000 and a little bit, so it's good. Move car to the entrance. Can't I just do this? Yeah, I can. Okay. Speed track. Let's see what this can do. Pretty quick. $250. $270. $277. Pretty good. Not bad. Actually, I almost feel like keeping this one. What do you think? Sell or keep? Because it is worth a decent chunk of money, after all. I'm gonna put it in parking for now. Also, let's go to the Car Salon and actually get one of our achievements. The achievement for buying a car from the Car Salon, because these are very, very expensive. Let's see, what do we want? Whatever the cheapest one is. 216,000 with a V6. 186,000 with a factory supercharged V8. That could be fun, tuning that. $16,000 again with the V6. 204,000. 91,000. Well, I said whichever one the cheapest one is, and that's this one by far. Let's buy it. Garage. Let's actually tune this thing. Let's move this to the lifter B. And I want this to have the turbocharged engine. What is the exact name of the turbocharged? Inline 4 DOHC turbocharged. Okay. That's how they call it. Move this to lifter B. Use to equipment. There's some oil in this engine. I thought no engine ever came with oil in it. I need to remove the starter from the engine bay, which is annoying. Okay. Then, because it's a front-wheel drive car and we need to remove the gearbox, we have to do this. Also gonna give this better tires, obviously, because it's gonna need them. take out the front drive shaft. And we're gonna have to move this thing down, then up again in order to remove the gearbox. And this is exactly why I don't like front wheel drive. Making things way more complicated than they would need to be. You can probably reuse the parts from this engine for the most part, but then again, we're also going to use tune parts. Engine crane. Okay, and now we're gonna take this apart. A lot of this, like the belt tensioner, serpentine belts, what have you, those are gonna remain the same. So that's good. So stock this engine made what? 131 horsepower. Let's see how much this is gonna make tuned. I mean, again, we don't have a dyno, but we can at least give a rough approximation with how much it could make once we know how much the stock turbo engine would make. Oh, the oil filter, okay. Let's see. This one. 180. Okay. And then 4, we got that. Got the crankshaft. Okay, now we need the oil filter. Need the pistons. Alternator. Our steering pump. No. Try again. Need the fuel filter. Gonna need the fuel pump as well later. Need the engine head. Where are you? There you are. Then we need the camshafts. Probably just called camshaft, I guess. Yeah, water pump is not something you can tune. Belt tensioner. Serpentine belt A. Okay. Exhaust manifold. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. First of all, we also need the fuel rail DI. That's a nice boost. The inline 4 turbo, okay. 1.05, okay, so that's not much. A lot of screws, or a lot of bolts going into this one. Definitely need spark plugs and ignition coils. Spark plug. Ignition coil. Yeah, so I think if this makes 180 horsepower stock, I mean, I'll have to see how much percentage-wise the turbo adds, because I have no idea. Like, how much the tuned turbo adds compared to the stock one. Do we not have an intake manifold here? Inlet for DI, it should be this one. Inlet for DI? Yeah, that's how it's called. Okay, good. We have a throttle? Yes, we do. Let's see which one we actually need for this one. I think it's, yeah, almost certainly gonna be this one. Okay. No. Wrong ones. We want the tuned ones. Okay, we got that one right. And then the clutch release bearing. Okay. So then we want the front exhaust section for the turbo engine. If we have it. We do. Oh, it's just this one. Plus 10%. Okay. Pretty good. I think we got everything for now. So let's remove this from the engine stand. Install. Move away. But yeah, this... I feel like this is actually probably gonna be pretty quick still, because I feel like overall it's probably gonna make like 270 horsepower, 280. Sexy car. It was the cheapest they had at the Car Salon. Okay, so it's the only reason I bought this over anything else. Just to get the achievement. Actually, I wanted a custom gearbox on this one as well. Custom gearbox shop, inline 4 somewhere. This one. No. Front drive shaft. Front drive axle. Gonna put different tires and rims on this thing though. Oh, and also we need the exhaust still. Because that can give us a little bit of extra power as well. Need a cat, a middle muffler, and a exhaust pipe and a rear muffler. Okay. Exhaust pipe, a middle muffler, and a rear muffler. Okay. Nope. Try again. Okay. Now we're gonna take the wheels apart and put new ones in. Or put new ones on, I guess. 205 45 R17. I think we're gonna go with 245 40 R18. And we're gonna go with race tires on this thing. Okay, 35 is okay. And for rims, I think I know which ones I want. These ones. This is gonna be, like, you may laugh about this car, but this is probably gonna be a fairly decent car on the track. Sure, it's no Pagani, but, you know, doesn't cost as much either. So we're waiting for this to complete. There we go. Okay, I think we're done when it comes to everything underneath the car. We've replaced the fuel pump, we've done the exhausts. The oil pan is back on, the oil filter is back on, okay. So let's get this thing down again. We still need to fit the turbo. Which is going to be providing all the power for us. Well, not all the power, but a lot of boost. Let's put it that way. And then we fill it up with oil. Are we complete? I think it is complete. Car value 139,000. I think that's actually less than we spent overall. So we would make a profit selling this. And also, obviously, selling these. I feel like selling everything gave us way too little last time when we sold the brand new parts. So I'm gonna sell these individually instead. Okay, so let's move this to the entrance. And let's see how quick this is. On the actually, it's a 5-speed gearbox. I think this will do more than 250. Let's gear first gear to like 65. Second is gonna go to like 110. Then like 160. 200 is fine. 250. 300, because I don't think we're gonna see much more than that. Speed track with the Royale Bianco. This is... okay. 4.3 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. That's not bad, no matter what you say. $240, $250, $257. Not bad for a little, you know, Fiat Punto. Let's quickly take this to the racetrack as well, although I really don't like the racetrack. Like this racetrack. But it's got race cars on it. Say something funny in German. Nudelsuppen. That was actually more like in an Austrian dialect. And then there's one word which no German will understand because it only exists in the Austrian language. It's Ohrkatzelschwaf. And what it means is the squirrel's tail. Ohrkatzelschwaf. But see, even though I'm terrible at driving in general in this game, whoa, as evidenced by that, the way that this thing handles and brakes makes it fairly easy for me to at least stay on track until that very point. It does have, like to spin when you just brake, into a corner. It does like to spin. Whoa, okay. Oh, that is, it does not understeer at all, this car. You know what? I feel like you may laugh. Whoa, you may. Okay, you're allowed to laugh now, but but I feel like this car is really good for this track because it's very tight and has so many very slow corners that I feel like the Pagani, right? Would beat this car on pretty much any racetrack, but I feel like the difference on this track, well, except for on the main straight, obviously, but other than that, the difference might not be that big. With proper driving, that is, of course. See, for the most part, this doesn't spin during braking, but sometimes it does. So the fact that it's unpredictable makes it bad. When it does work the way it's supposed to work, then this is actually really good. 105, 106, 106 something, okay? Good. 106.1. I can tell you that that's probably much faster than this car will do, even though this is miles ahead in a straight line. But I feel like it's just too quick, too powerful for this tight little course. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, that's too much power. Like, this thing is just... It's just not... It's meant for the drag strip, and it does extremely well there. Look at that windshield frame, rusty. Yeah, I know. Once we can actually repair the frames, I will fix it on this one. Yeah, okay, but this is not a car for the track. At least not for the racetrack. It's a car for the speed track, and I think that's what we're gonna end the stream with, is with another run on the speed track with this car, as it's just too good. And we've already surpassed the top speed that the Bianco reached. We're 100 kilometers an hour faster. I'm gonna sell this thing simply because I want the money. But this is a respectable track car, I will say that. $116,000 now, huh? Oh, because we drove 9 kilometers with it, huh? As it's not technically new anymore. That's bullshit. But so realistic. You know what, we may as well keep it at this point. That shit's too real, man. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll be streaming this game again next Saturday, and I hope to see you guys there. Until then, have a good one, and I hope to see you tomorrow on the City Skylines stream. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye. See you next time.